Hi guys, Darth Deuces here with our action figure review, and today we're going to actually be taking a look at a McFarlane Toys figure, and it is the McFarlane Toys Destiny Cayde-6 figure. They recently released a wave of all three of the Vanguards, so Cayde-6, Zavala, and Ikora. I would like to get all three eventually, especially would like to get Zavala, but out of all of them, Cayde-6 was my priority. I was actually really excited for this figure. He's my favorite character in the game. So yeah, I was pretty stoked to get this figure, and he's been a pleasant surprise. I actually really like this figure a lot. McFarlane really stepped their game up a bit, I'd say, and actually making a decent action figure. If you're not familiar with McFarlane Toys, usually the shtick with these figures is they have great paint apps and great sculpt, but then have really bad articulation, almost to the point where they're statues and don't come with a lot of accessories. Cayde doesn't come with a lot of accessories, though. There's not a whole lot he can come with anyways. And they actually did a decent job with the articulation, so I don't have them in the packaging. Obviously, I opened them up beforehand a couple days ago, but the packaging is nothing to write home about anyways, so I'm just going to get right in here. And first take a look at the head sculpt, if you'll focus. And I think this looks really good. He is an exo. If you play the game, you know what that is. It's basically a robot. I think it looks really good. They actually, it's hard to see, but they actually did hollow out where the mouth is, so it's hollow in there, which is really cool. He's got his eyes, which look really good. The silver and blue paint shines nicely, looks really good. He's got like some silver dry brushing on the black. Looks really nice. The sculpted hood is sculpted over the head really nicely. It kind of looks like this eye is kind of different from this eye. Sculpt-wise, it's kind of like they try to give him a little bit of a weird-looking expression, which I don't think was executed fantastically, but it's not too noticeable. I still think it looks really, really good. Hood isn't removable, though it does kind of look like it would be. I'm sure if you wanted to, you heat it up and peel it off, but it's not meant to be removed, so I wouldn't do it. But the hood and the cloak pieces itself look really good. This sculpt is definitely simulates the cloth. You got the red emblems on each side. And you got like stitching work sculpted on, which is really cool. And you got a nice wash applied to it, which looks great as well. You got a scarf, which is sculpted all the way around, looks really good. You got all these red emblems going on. The cloak is also really nice. It's got these holes and these tears in the end that look really good. And you got the red markings on the side. It's also made of a really pliable plastic, so it's not going to get in the way at all, which is really good. Got the emblems and the ace symbol, or the spade symbol on his shoulder there. It looks really good. Bandolier looks great. His torso gear looks really good. It's a nice wash again to bring out the sculpt, which is awesome. It's got some emblems and whatnot on this shoulder, and you got the little shoulder pad with the yellow. It looks really good. You got the hands. This one's in a more of a gripping hand. This one is sculpted in a trigger finger hand, which is really great because not all these Destiny figures are sculpted with trigger finger hands, so it's really good to do this. And not only that, but it's also in a more flexible plastic, so it makes it easier to get the guns in the hand. Some of them have really rock hard hands, which doesn't make sense for trying to get guns in there, so that's really good. He's got a knife sculpted on his belt, which is really cool, and you can articulate the arms in such a way to make it look like he's holding it. It's not removable, unfortunately. Belt looks good. Got these straps on his legs here, and you got the details on the pants look really good, and the shin armor looks really nice. The gold and the silver brush on it looks great. He's got these nice boots as well with the tread sculpted on the outline, and he's got one peg hole on his right foot. And overall, I have to say this is a really impressive looking figure. You know, he looks like he jumped out of the game. It's really, really good looking, so I really do enjoy that. It looks really good. In terms of articulation, this is usually where I'm dreading going into McFarlane figures, but this guy, like I said, is not bad. He has a bulgent head. You can look up a bit, look down a bit, rotate, and you do get a bit of pivot, which is cool. Ball hinge at the shoulders move out that far, which isn't too bad at all. Swivels that go all the way. Ball hinge at the elbows move about 90, maybe slightly past 90 if you push it, which is actually pretty good. You can get some pretty good poses. And you got the ball hinges at the wrists as well as a swivel there, so you can get them going like this or like this, depending on what you want. Swivel at the waist, which is good. And he's got those hip joints that have in common with Destiny figures. You can kick forward on both legs about that far, which isn't too bad. It could be a bit better, but it's not too bad. It's hindered by the belt. And then he can do a full splits, which is pretty good. You do have this kind of annoying cuts in the joints, but it's not too bad. I use a ball hinge at the knee, which moves about 90. And you have a slight ball joint in the ankle. It can go down about that far, up just a little bit, and pivot slightly. It could be a bit better. But overall, it's definitely not bad. It's a step in the right direction with the McFarlane figures. The Destiny Hunter, which I also have, had similar articulation, but I feel like Cayde does it a bit better. And in terms of accessories, he does not come with much. He does come with the display stand. They're changing up the display stands instead of doing what they used to do, which I can show you here real quick. This is what the stands were, and it's not bad. It has some nice sculpted detail, and it has a very collector's feel. I did like it, but it does take up a lot of space. This is much flatter. It's just a circle and it has the D2 logo on the top of it and one peg. And you know, you peg Cayde into it, and it keeps them standing upright pretty securely, so I like that a lot. And then he also lastly comes with his weapon, which is his hand cannon, which is really nicely sculpted. Really nicely painted. It's got mainly black, sculpted in black plastic. It's got the white paint apps. You got the Spade logos or emblems on there, and the stripes and whatnot look really good. Does have a weapon peg, and he has one hole on his right hip here, so you can plug that into his hip. And what I really like is that the peg will actually go all the way in, so it's not like the weapon's not sticking out from his leg a little bit. It looks like it's attached right snug to his leg, which I really do like that. I think that looks really good on his hip. And he can also hold the gun well in his right hand, and you can remove the weapon peg really easily. I just like to put the weapon peg right in his hip there, because it looks sort of weird with him holding it with the weapons peg, because it's quite big. And you can just work his fingers around the gun. And you can have Cayde holding his hand cannon, which I think is really cool. And like I said, you can get a lot of great poses with this guy, despite it being a McFarlane figure. There we go. Like, you can get the whole like gunslinger pose with like pulling back the hammer really quick. Like, you can get the arm over like that. And if I spent more time, it could look really cool. But you can do that. Get him in the old like Western gunslinger pose, which is really cool. I like that you can do that a lot. So lastly, I'll do a quick size comparison here with a couple figures. These figures are in the 7-inch scale. So they're a bit bigger than 6-inch figures, obviously. But here he is with the Iron Banner Hunter. If I get him straightened out here. And they scale pretty well together. So that's good. And then just so you have an idea, here's a 6-inch figure. And actually, if I'm being totally honest, he actually, or at least with this Deadpool figure, 6-inch figure, he actually falls into scale pretty nicely. He's like a bit taller, but you could just say because he's a robot, he's just built a bit taller than other people. He actually scales in decently with the 6-inch figures. Yeah. So that's actually pretty cool. Let's do one more quick one. Yeah, see, even Mary Jane's one of the smaller legends, and he still scales pretty well with her. So I guess, yeah, if you wanted to use Cayde for your 6-inch displays for whatever reason, you could do that too. But overall, I think this is actually a really cool figure. If you're a fan of Destiny, and definitely a fan of Nathan Fillion and the Cayde-6 character, I 100% recommend picking this guy up. I think he's the coolest Cayde-6 figure that they've done so far. He's the only proper Cayde-6 action figure that they've done as far as I know, with all the rest just being like vinyl figures and whatnot. So if you're a fan, I highly recommend picking this one up. He is really, really cool. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know anything in the comments down below, and I will see you all in the next video.